Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. Now then, maybe you're aware, maybe you're not, but recently I put a poll up on YouTube asking for which topics would you like to see covered in future tuition videos. And top of the shop in that poll was lead guitar for beginners. And I did that video already a few days ago, and it's already up. If you haven't seen it, then the link is in the description below. Coming in silver medal place in that poll, if you like, was basically people saying, yes, we'd like some advice on writing cool sounding chord sequences. So that's what today's video is all about. I'm basically going to show you one really, I think, useful method of putting a cool sounding chord sequence together. It goes by various names, this technique. It's sometimes called Modal Interchange, it's sometimes called pitch axis, and it's sometimes called borrowed chords. And what it amounts to in a nutshell is, rather than thinking I'm going to write a song in this key, okay, what you do is you think, okay, I'm going to write a song based around this particular chord, and that chord will occur in several different keys. And what you can do is you can mix and match chords from all of those keys together because they all have that one chosen chord in common. It's the link between all the keys. That's what it is in a nutshell, and well, here's some more information on it. Okay then, here are the chords in the key of C major. You got a C, a D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and then back to C. Likewise, the chords in the key of G major are G, A minor, B minor, C, D, E minor, F sharp diminished, and then back to G. And the chords in the key of F major are F, G minor, A minor, B flat, C, D minor, E diminished, and back to F. And the reason why I chose these three keys is because they all have an A minor chord in common. The key of C major, when looked at from the perspective of the A minor chord, is the Aeolian mode. The key of G major, looked at from the perspective of the A minor chord, is the A Dorian mode. And the key of F major, looked at from the perspective of that A minor chord, is the A Phrygian mode. And what I'm going to do is make A minor the central chord, as you can see here on this diagram, and then all of the other chords that occur in the same key or keys as the A minor chord I've arranged around the outside. And I can just go from chord to chord to chord without really giving too much of a hoot as to which key those chords come from. For instance, I could go from a B minor chord to a B flat chord. They're not in the same key, but they do have the A minor chord in common because they both occur in the same key as an A minor chord in one shape or form. This is something that I'm going to refer to as the A minor universe. And there is one other chord that I'm going to add into the mix here, E7. Now you'll see that the E7 is kind of pointing towards the A minor chord, and that's basically what it does. If you play an E7 chord followed by an A minor chord, the effect is that the listener's ear settles on that A minor chord, much like this. And as you can hear, that works really rather well as a way of making the A minor chord sound like the pivotal central chord that everything arrives back at. It makes it sound like the tonality, basically. And because E7 is not in any of the original keys that the A minor chord occurs in, the C major key, the G major key, and the F major key, it's a secondary chord from outside those keys, and because it's a dominant chord, it gets called a secondary dominant chord. There you go. That explains that little bit of jargon. And what I can do is I can just jumble these chords up and put them into pretty much any order I want, really, and just experiment and fool around with it and come up with some kind of chord sequence based upon these ideas. And that's exactly what I've done. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me please present to you a little tune I entitled A Minor Universe. So there you go. That didn't sound too bad in the end, did it? So let's have a quick summary of what it is exactly you need to know to be able to use this rather cool technique. Well, first of all, you need to know which keys any given chord can occur in. You also need to know which other chords are going to be in those keys. And the final thing is you need to know how to target any given chord using a secondary dominant chord. And a secondary dominant chord is always a seventh chord, and it's always a fifth above wherever your target chord is, in the same way that E7 is a fifth above the A minor chord that we saw in that example. And that's pretty much all you're going to need in order to make this work. If any of that is double Dutch to you, then you need some lessons. Basically, you need some explanation, somebody to kind of take you through it. It's not difficult. It's not rocket science or brain surgery. It's just something that has a nice, I think, pleasing symmetry and architecture to it that is, I think, easy to get a handle on. And you may have noticed that the topic of modes did crop up briefly in that explanation we went through. So if you want to get into that side of playing, well, I have a course out at the moment, as I'm sure you know. There's the URL. Basically, it's called Making the Modes Easy, and it does exactly that. It makes the whole topic of modes nice and easy. You get licks, you get jam tracks, you get explanations, you get everything to make the modes easy. Or if you would prefer some tailored one-to-one guitar tuition to go through this topic or anything else, then give me a shout via the details at the end of this video. If you live on Teesside in the northeast of England, you can come along for a face-to-face lesson, or wherever else you are in the world, you can have a lesson via Skype. And whichever way you do it, your first lesson is free. So what have you got to lose? And with that, I'll bid you all a good day. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button. They'll give me a like, hit the notification bell, all the usual stuff. And yeah, thanks for your time, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time around. Bye for now, folks.